afternoon and welcome back. Good afternoon Eastern Standard Time anyways. And welcome back to another Bold Biz Chats. I've got a very, very, very pretty, Heather's so pretty. I got a very pretty guest today. Heather, you didn't know I thought that of you, did you?
I think I'm blushing, actually. You know, when a girl says you're pretty versus a guy, it's a different kind of like a compliment, you know? It's like, oh.
Exactly. I know it is. I know. Well, welcome back to another Bold Biz Chats. I've got another amazing guest with me today. I'll bring her out in a moment. We are broadcasting live at boldradiostation.com. Head on over to the website and you will find us there. Oh, gosh, there's a lot going on, just a lot going on. First of all, big shout out to the Bold radio station team. They kick ass to get these shows up and out the door. I love them dearly. They are amazing. I am in such awe and appreciation of them all. We've got two producers, Nesha and Damian, and of course, Director of Operations, Ingrid, and then Lynn and I. They try to keep Lynn and I focused straight and moving things up and out the door. It's a nice little motley crew, and they do a great job. Let me see. This Thursday coming up in Rochester, New York, is the Power Up event that Sheila Kennedy is hosting. Bold Radio Station is the media sponsor, and I will also be going there speaking on the power of voice. I'm really excited. I finally get to meet Sheila Kennedy. Go on over to Sheila Kennedy on Facebook. I don't have the link right here in front of me. My apologies. But reach out to her, support her. If you can't be there, reach out to her. Grab your tickets. You can still get tickets. It's an all-day event, 9 to 5. We are going to have lots of fun. Also, to swing on by Bold Radio Station's advertising page, we've got one of the best dog leashes by Razor Canine. Actually, Ray, a gentleman that lives right here, right around the corner from me, makes the best dog leash. If you have a dog, you must get the leash. If you click on the link over on the Bold Radio Station's page, you can order a link and he'll order a leash and he'll mail it to you. I swear by this leash, best leash around. And check out the other advertisers we've got going over there, and check out the other hosts. We are going to be adding, no pressure to our wonderful producers, Nesha and Damian. We're going to be adding music back to Bold Radio. So in between the shows, we are going to be having music playing. Yes, we had that last year, and we did eliminate that this year, and we're going to be adding it, though, again this year. We're going to be putting that back on here within the next, hopefully, month. So, enough. That is enough. I want to bring pretty Heather out, Heather Havenwood, who is the CEO of Havenwood Worldwide, and she's the chief sexy boss, and I'm going to stop on there. Heather, welcome today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is going to be a lot of fun. Bold.
I know. I know. You know something, Heather? We talked, you and I talked on the phone a couple months ago, and we talked about everything, and it's like, okay, promise to keep in touch. And then all of a sudden now the show is here, and it's like, we need to promise to keep in touch more than just.
No, we do. I agree. But do I have to give you credit, though, when we were having that conversation? We were just, we just met on the phone, and I was talking about my book, Sexy Boss, that I published back in November 2013. And I remember the conversation very well because you became my best friend over that conversation when you said, well, your book has done very well on Amazon. It's like top 10 in Amazon. I said, oh, Kim, that's very sweet of you. No, it's not. And you're like, no, it is. I'm like, no. That was very sweet. You don't do that. No, it's not. She's like, no, it is. Go look. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, you're a bestseller. You're a bestseller on there. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was official. And I love that story because one, I didn't know, but two, I wrote the book and published it 3 years prior. That was end of 2013. And we had that conversation a couple months ago in early 2016. And I just used it as a storyline because a lot of people think they have to write a book. They have to make it bestseller immediately. And I'm like, I disagree with that. Sometimes, great books are actually bestsellers years after they are written and published. So,
and the other thing with that, the other thing too, Heather, with the books have an infinite shelf life. I mean, the shelf life is always there with a book, and that's the same thing with this radio show. We record all these and turn them into podcasts, and then we have our infinite shelf life with these shows as well. So I love it. I absolutely love it. We live in such a society of instantaneously. The Twitter, the Google. Gosh, we were out the other night talking, my husband and I, and I'm like, okay, who is it? Can you Google it really quick to get the information, which is really cool, but we're so 4 seconds instantaneous that things are moving and going so fast that we forget. There's such a quick termination, a termination date to things, and so books have infinite shelf lives, and so do these shows. So it's really neat. And congratulations to you, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, so let's see. Well, I'm currently in Austin, Texas, and I basically started an online marketing on accident back in 1999 when I was at University of Texas in Arlington in here in Texas. And I went to the university, and I had this marketing professor, and she said to me, "Do you want to take this course on internet marketing?" This is in '99. You got to get the realm of that, right? And so we did this whole business plan on internet marketing, and actually created my first business called Best Fit Coach. And my dad today still has that company today called the Coach Connection. So I helped kind of spearhead that, and through that process. And then I went on my merry way in life. And it wasn't until a couple of years later, about 2001, that I had the opportunity again. And from 2001 to 2006, I focused 100% on internet marketing, taking information businesses onto the internet marketing platform. And then my first business in 2006, we went actually from $0 to $1 million in 2005 to 2006 in 1 year. So, it's been this kind of up and down process. I kind of feel like I should be a Steve Jobs by now, or, a Zuckerberg by now. Like I was on the cusp and I had no idea. But I also had that, I remember back in the day, there was a magazine that was focused on the dot-com boom. I was in that spot of that dot-com boom and bust, And so it was really confusing at the time. But nowadays, I live and breathe internet marketing. I own 4 online businesses now. And then I'm also a coach where I coach people through the process of taking their business either online, or how do they increase their business that's currently online. So that's what I do now. And I'm an author and speaker and podcaster and
Yeah, you got a lot going on, and you were just on a TV show in Austin, Texas last week.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That was a ton of fun. It was really early in the morning, and I thought I would be there. And they had they have different spots, and they have a lot of people there. And I thought, oh, I can relax and have some coffee and think about what I'm going to say. And then they called me you're the first one. I'm like, wow. So,
oh my gosh, I love it. I love being in positions like that. Oh yeah, I'm going to relax, have some hot water and lemon, a cup of coffee, and it's like,
right.
Bam!
Yeah, I was like, what? They go, come on, let's do this. So I had a ton of fun. It was my first really opportunity to talk about my business in the TV setting. And I really loved that opportunity because it was different, it was unique, and I also knew the market of that particular spot it was going to play, which was women. So we focus a lot on women empowerment and that, magical things do happen when women help other women.
Oh gosh, that's interesting. Oh my gosh, Heather. So thank you for saying that, because Power of the Voice, one of the arenas that I'm going to be talking on this Thursday is, we can either come together, rise up, or we can keep, cutting each other down. And I have a joke, and it's half-hearted as a joke and more serious. I'm going to get up at 5:00 in the morning, grab my coffee. I'm going to see dinosaurs still walking across my front yard, because when women still put down other women, I'm sorry, none of us have arrived. None of us have arrived when we still have that going on. None of us have arrived. So, and it is amazing what can happen when a bunch of women come together. And all the guys out there listening, we love you. We still want you. You are still just as important. But, talking about the, women empowerment, and just not other, not just women empowerment in general, but other women empowering one another, and put away the jealousy and the conniving and the competition. I would like to get rid of some of those words, by the way, out of our dictionary, Webster dictionary.
Something that interesting you just said about men and bringing that in. What's interesting, I've been in a lot of opportunities where I've been in masterminds, what I call real hard business masterminds. And they're mainly men. I'm usually like one of two sometimes 3 women, but most of the time I'm the only female there. And what I've learned through that process of like watching men's behavior, they are very supportive of each other. I mean, believe it or not, like the man's club back in the day, it's still very alive and well. And I learned a lot from watching men have this kind of very support manhood thing going. I really think that's one of the reasons why they've been able to excel, because they are so willing to help each other. Like, hey man, hey bro, what's going on? Yeah man, I'll help you out, dude, whatever you need. And women don't do that as much. You know, and I find that really interesting. It's like, and they never go out of their way to exclude us. It's not a personal thing. I noticed that too. They're just like, they don't think about it. It's one of those, yeah, sure. Yeah, we're not trying to exclude you. They're just not like thinking about it. Like, do you want to be one of us? We don't know. So it's an interesting kind of dynamic. And the last mastermind I was in a couple of weeks ago, actually, here in Austin, it was a great bunch of guys I've hung out with for a couple of years. There was a new female there. She was awesome. And it was just really cute how the guys were like, y'all should meet because y'all are females. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, guys, look, we will meet. It's no big deal. You guys don't have to like push us together. It was really kind of adorable. And we did hit it off. She's an amazing woman. But I think it's a really cute how, but they automatically know how to bond. I think it's because of team sports. I think it's because of football and baseball and those things that they were probably thrown into when they were a young kid. We don't do as many team sports. Soccer a little bit, but really we're ballet. That's individual sport. If you're tennis, and there's a lot of individual sports, dance, individual sports. We're taught at a young age to be more individual, I think, than team. It's a very young conversation. So as you get older and into entrepreneurship, when you really need that team sport, it's a little more challenging for women to think about it because we're taught at a very young age to be competitive.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. And I agree. And the other thing too, Heather, is a lot of stuff that I speak about is, I hear women say, oh, I want to run my business. I want to be just like a man. Well, why? Men have penises, women have vajayjays. I mean, come on, we're different. Let's just lay it out here. We're different genders. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're different. I say this all the time. We're different genders. Why do you want to run a business like a man? But here's what women need to learn. This is a skill. Need to learn to do. We need to learn to be firm and factual and remove the emotion when it comes to business. And then it will be a win together situation. But women still want to bring the emotional baggage, so to speak, into business. Oh, I couldn't make it because my kid was sick, or, I've done a lot for you and I missed my Christmas cookie thing. I'm like, I really don't care. I really don't care. I mean, no offense. I just don't care. I'm not worried about Christmas cookie baking, whatever. Let's get down to it. Let's be firm and factual. And men know how to do it. I mean, you watch men can go into a boardroom and have the biggest interesting conflict around business, and then they can get in their cars, drive down the street, and leave it in the boardroom and go have drinks.
Yeah.
Whereas women bring it with them. Yeah,
right. They're taught that they're taught that at a young age. I mean, think about if they're, it's 7 here in Texas, if you're 7 years old, you're playing football, you're playing something. So they're taught that. They're taught that at a very young age. This is your friend on the field or your competitor on the field and your teammate on the field. And then afterwards, you may or may not be friends on the field. You're not going to have drinks together. So it's taught at a very young age, I think. So that's actually why I wrote the book Sexy Boss, because it was about that conversation. For me, for many years, I was trying to be like a man. I dressed like one. I covered up my boobs. I had my hair. Everything I did was trying to cover up as a female and trying to be smart like a male. And what I learned is like owning my femininity and owning who I am as a female and reaching out as a woman in business was so much more profitable for myself and everyone involved. So that was kind of why I wrote the book Sexy Boss. I call it my journey from bankruptcy to Sexy Boss, about that process.
Let's talk about that. Okay, because first of all, Heather, come on, you couldn't have dressed yourself down like a man. Look in the mirror, girl. You're blind. You're so beautiful. Okay, and I understand. I get it. I don't want to minimize that, but
no,
Heather.
It's okay. I did. I wore like these gray suits, and I wore this black turtleneck. I don't look good in turtlenecks, but black turtleneck, and I covered my boobs, and I wore flats. I know you would never think, right? It was crazy, but I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to be in the corporate business world any other way. Like there was no mentors. for another female to say, hey, let me help you out. It was actually a man that's a speaker that called me out publicly in front of this big group, about 200 or 300 people in a seminar. And he was the one, I was very mad at him for a long time. But he called me out. Like, he basically said something along the lines of, if you really allowed your femininity to come out, you'd be more powerful. You'd look like a man. He was, kind of negative / positive / whatever, sexist, I'm sure. But I was just mad. And he said, you should wear a skirt. Just like that. And I was so furious, like the next day, because it was a seminar, like a 3-day week, I came the next day and just wore like a nice skirt, to the knee, and kind of like, I'm going to show you. Mm-hmm. And it was fascinating. I was like, and he walked up to me, he's like, you look amazing, you look beautiful, and you're powerful. And it was this first like click of like, really? And people don't look at me like some kind of something to eat or something. And he's like, no, you should really own who you are. And that was the shift. And I started to really allow myself to be feminine in no matter the situation. And I think that gave me confidence. It's a confidence conversation. It's confidence in who I am. And so now I go out of my way to just, to wear skirts. It sounds so simple, right? It's a skirt. Okay. But it's a subconsciousness. So being able to, if you're wearing a skirt, you're a female. Okay, that right there, you're not usually a male wearing a skirt, right? So it's just a subconscious thing, and people will shift around that process and shift around your energy. Yeah. So,
it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm all about, be you and I'm all about comfort, because my other business, I own a fitness business. So I'm in the
workout gear, me too.
Oh my God. And let me tell you something, and you can really dress up or dress down, workout, carryover pants. Oh my gosh. So I'm in that a lot. So my thing is, be comfortable so you can really not have to worry about something pinching you or riding up, and really get into the focus of the meat of the content. But I'm going to swing back around. Let's talk about your journey. Let's talk about how you arrived to, Chief Sexy Boss, going from that bankruptcy, because first of all, Heather, you're not that old. Okay. Let's just get that out there right here and now, so how did you start from that bankruptcy? You're welcome. And arrive to that, the Chief Sexy Boss. It's so pretty. And it's so you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I'll tell you the journey of that. So I was in the information marketing business in the real estate industry in 2001 through 2006. And about 2004-05, I got in business with a gentleman where him and I were business partners, and he was the face of the business and I ran the business. I kind of supported him, which managerial supported, created the whole back end. And we went from $0 to $1 million. And then one day I came home from an event. I was out of town for a couple of days, and everything was gone. Merchant accounts were gone. Bank accounts were gone. I was locked out of everything. And
oh my God.
And I had this thing called mortgage that was due the next day, and these things called bills and stuff like that. And I didn't have anything. I had like $0 in my bank account. And so I was broke literally overnight. I didn't have any other things going on. So I had a bankruptcy, foreclosure all within that year. And that was also during the time that the real estate market was hitting, 2006, 2007, Florida. I was in Florida. So I was kind of in a bad predicament. It wasn't like jobs were, happening, and everything was going backwards at that exact time. So anyway, I was broke, and I ended up, foreclosing on my house, bankruptcy, completely wiped out. And then I moved with a friend of mine in Marco Island, in Florida. And at that time, I think I spent about a year looking off into the sunset and kind of having this, what did I do wrong life thing going on, a lot of victimization happening, just a lot of thinking. But it was really fascinating because I let go. For someone like me, I'm a type A personality. And for 1 year, I allowed myself to wake up when I wake up, and I went to sleep when I went to sleep, and I had coffee in the middle of the day, just to kind of just this, what is it like to relax and do nothing? And I did that for about a year. And then one day I woke up and I was like, who I am is an entrepreneur. Like, that's just who I am. And I think that was that wake up call. And I decided that the one thing I could do right now is surround myself in that same energy of people that are creating and developing. And that was Austin at the time. It was 2009 at this point, 8, 9. And I left Marco Island and I moved to Austin. And that was my first move to be like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what business I'm going to create. I don't know anything other than who I am. And I am as an entrepreneur. And so it was here. I moved here surrounded by other entrepreneurs and other people that were creating things. And from there, I started my first business from scratch. No investors. I'm not like some Facebook Facebook that someone gave me $1 million or something. I find that fascinating. Here, young people, you hear a lot of young people like, "Well, we're going to get $2 million." I'm like, do you know what I could do with $2 million? Like, I could build out so much, but I didn't have that. I didn't have a daddy Warbucks to fall back on, or a husband, or any of that. It was just me and my dog. And so I started a business from scratch. Ryan Dice's company, they profited with me. They co-profited with me, and they helped create it. And they gave it back to me. It was in a dating business, teaching men how to date women. And so I'm telling you this story because through that process, I really began to see my own confidence as a woman entrepreneur and in my voice. And I knew at that point, some people said to me, well, you can always coach digital marketing. And I'm like, I'm not going to coach digital marketing when I don't have my own business. I don't like it when people do that. I don't like it when they make it their only business. It's the coaching of it. I said, I'm going to build other businesses first, and then I can go out and help other people. And so that's what I do today. And back in 2012, Joe Sugarman, who's a dear friend of mine, he looked at me one day while I was visiting him in Vegas, and he said, Heather, you're like, I don't know. And we're eating salads. Okay, we're at the salad bar in Vegas. He's like, you're like a sexy boss. I swear to God, that's what he said. And I was like, oh yeah, I am. Yeah. He's like, no, you're smart, you're talented, you're sexy, you're doing great in life, And I just had this like, let's see if that's trademarked. So we looked to see it's trademarked, and we're actually in that process still trademarking that. And I wrote the book around it about my journey from what I call from bankruptcy to sexy boss. So that kind of brings you up to date. But now I like to help business owners that already have some kind of business, and then how do they increase their sales, increase their revenue through digital online marketing. And that's what I focus on today. And a lot of it's monetization. The thing that I would call the thing I'm good at in the digital marketing world, everyone has like their thing, social media or whatever. Mine is email marketing monetization. Is that I've been able to figure out a way, like how do you take your current customer list or prospect list and actually make money off of them, even if they're not buying your own products. That's what I help a lot of companies do. And because that's how I've made my money, right? It doesn't matter if you don't buy my stuff. That's okay. There's other stuff to sell. I'm a big component of that. So list monetization, email marketing, list monetization is my like little thing that I do. And I help people make more money in their businesses and monetize that.
So when a client comes to you, Heather, 9 times out of 10, they're looking for to either start their online business or take their online business and ramp it up multiple levels.
Yes, absolutely. And now most of them already have something going, and then they're like, how do I make more money in the current business? And what I look for is, what are the different ways that you're not taking opportunities. Here's an opportunity. Add this. Some people call it, add different kinds of different products. I'm not a big fan of adding products if you don't have the income to add the products, right?
Right.
It's like, how can you make money with what you have right now, and you add no product to the bottom line? Because that's always like the easiest way to do it. Well, of course, add another product, do another launch, right? It's like, no, how do you make money now? So I focus a lot on that, and then we go into product launches if we need to, or if that's the next step for them. But how do you leverage the current marketplace with what you have right now in front of you?
I think, something, Heather, I love. Oh, my God. Okay. Interview complete. We have arrived. What you just said, oh my gosh, was worth gazillions. That was priceless because, I see a lot of business owners are, I want clients. I want money. I want more clients. I want more money. Well, wait a minute. Time out. Hold on. Take a deep breath. Let's take a look at what you already have and how can we, Heather, my expression is caramelize. How can we caramelize this and make this even better? Not just get out there and just start collecting all the likes on Facebook or, connecting even more so with Twitters. And it was so interesting. My husband and I were just having this conversation this morning. Numbers are important, but Heather, what I see is, look at me. I have 1 million plus people following me on Twitter, and I have my 5,000 on Facebook, and blah blah blah. Well, okay, wait a minute here. How organic is all of that? Number one. Number two, how do you create that and get engagement? So people, whether maybe they may not buy from you today, but so they will buy from you today, tomorrow, or the next day and go, oh my God, this woman, Heather, You have got to meet her. You have got to see and refer you out. And I think that's a huge, huge hole in the donut, so to speak, that I'm talking about lots of sweets today. I don't know what my problem is. I'm not a sugar person. But anyways, I think that's what a lot of business owners are missing. They're missing what's already right there in front of them.
I agree. It's monetizing what they already have, right?
Yes.
I look at the assets, and here's a great example. It's just kind of an easy example. I worked with an acupuncturist, a local acupuncturist, and he's phenomenal. Great way he does. And I asked him, I go, how many clients have you had in the last 5 years, 6 years since you've been open? He's like, I'm like, okay, problem one, they've already bought from you. Why are you not selling them more? You just expect that if they're in pain or if they whatever, they're going to come to you. It's like, why? Don't expect that, because they probably don't even know the other attributes of acupuncture they can even do. He's like, you're right. I'm like, and why are you not selling the supplements? I mean, when you become a healer in that world, a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, even a dentist, you've already created yourself as an expert. They've already bought from you. They already believe in you. Why are you not taking that expertise to another level inside the current customer base you already have? I always laugh at my dentist. I've been with him for now, I don't even know, 4 years, 5 years. I'm real loyal to him because when I first started with him, he was doing it. Like, he was the only person. He had no one. He just started the company, right? And now he's got assistants. I never see him. He kind of slides in the last 5 minutes and does the oh, you look good. And I always tell him, I go, why aren't you selling me something else? You should be selling me. He always giggles I don't know what to sell you. But it's true. I never hear from his office. I only hear from his office every 6 months. But he doesn't hire me as a consultant, so I just have to give him a hard time. But it's a good prospect. I mean, I love to get my teeth whitened, but he hasn't sold me. I'd love to get some other kind of random cosmetic, nice stuff, but he hasn't sold me on it. So I'm not going to buy it. But it's just it's a view, right? That if he took it on, how can I expand my profitability with the current clients I already have? So something simple as that all businesses can do, that I kind of help create.
Yep, absolutely. I remember back in the day, Heather, my first job after high school, I was working at Lord & Taylor, and, a major department store. And where this Lord & Taylor was at was in this new mall, and it was like driving out to the sticks. And on the weekend, these women from Grosse Pointe, Michigan would drive in, Grosse Pointe, very old money, very wealthy. During the week, now this area is just out of control. I mean, there's so much traffic, so many subdivisions in them, but this was a long time ago. And I got hired in to work behind the jewelry counter, and I turned around behind the jewelry counter and I looked at the women in the cosmetics, and I said, that's where I want to be. So I worked my way over there, and I learned how to upsell. I mean, if someone's coming in to buy a foundation, what about, do you need some mascara? Or how about, have you seen the newest colors of, it's just upselling. You have them there in front of you. It's upselling. And it's the same thing with these business owners is, maybe, they do come to you, not maybe, but they do come to you, and they have these big numbers on social media, but their sales are not reflecting those numbers. You don't need to go out there and build more numbers. Let's take what you have and let's make it better.
Yeah, I agree. It's monetization, sales 101. The one thing that's not taught in schools or college is sales. Yes. 101. And if you look at a lot of the top business people, let's just look at someone that's in the news on a daily, hourly basis, Donald Trump. He's at the end of the day, he knows how to present. He's a communicator and he's in sales. And someone told me a long time ago, I think it was Marshall Silver, he said, communication equals wealth. Is that when you know how to communicate, right, your message or market, or how to communicate in general, which is sales, is communication, you can build wealth. And I think that's really key. And Joe Sugarman taught me that as well. He's a copywriter. Well, copywriter's communication. And communication equals wealth. And he always told me, he's like, Heather, everything could be taken away tomorrow. And it's happened a few times in my life. But I know that I have the power of the pen, which is the copywriting, his skill set. His skill set is the communication, that he can sell anything. I can sell anything through the power of writing. And I think that's a piece that people forget. They get so focused on the thing, right? Or especially nowadays, the app or whatever, right? The thing that they're selling, they don't get the salesmanship of it. How are they going to sell it? Or what is a sales process? So anyways, I think it's fun. A real good salesperson. I mean, I came from corporate sales, and I think that's why I'm successful today online. My first job was in a big company. And I remember when I got hired, they said, here's your desk. It was this old desk, right?
Yes.
Completely cleared out. There was nothing in it. You could tell someone was there a few months before and they got fired. And then they said, here's your phone and here's some business cards and here's the phone book and there's your quota.
Yep.
Have a great day. And if you don't make it 3 months, we'll give the desk to somebody else, and I'm like, I needed the job, and so I had to bust button. I cold called and I did all this crazy stuff and walked into those big things that no solicitation here. I just walked through and said, hi, I'm soliciting you. I totally am not going to look at that big thing out there. I'm not saying you should do that, but I did. I just did whatever it took. I learned how to sell.
Yep.
And that's the key, I think, of every business. And you hear stories and stories, especially I think people older, say I'm 40s, but in the 50s, they talk about people that learned how to sell by, door-to-door sales and book sales and encyclopedia sales. Those people are very successful today because they learned something that so many people forget. And nowadays it's not taught. It's really not taught.
And everything that we as business owners, everything that we manage and do, those are all skills that we teach either ourselves or get a business coach or a mentor or read a chapter in a book or a whole book or watch if you're coming from corporate America, watch, look, learn, listen. It takes I hear so many people say, oh, I knew when I was very young, a toddler, I was going to be an entrepreneur. Well, no, you may know that, but this stuff is not luck, and it's not just a luck of the draw. You have to learn this stuff, and you also have to learn in areas where you are not strongly skilled at, and either you better learn them or you have to hire someone. And that SELL word is not a nasty 4-letter word. It's not at all. Learn how to sell and learn how to remove the emotions, because when we're selling our businesses, our products, we're basically selling ourselves. I mean, they are, it's an extension of us. So it's just learn how to remove those emotions and, learn, because if we don't sell our products and our services, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be
I have a client right now that when he first hired me, he was trying to hire me as he wanted to hire me as a sales and marketing in his business, and I kept on no. He was kept offering me a job even though I'm coaching him. Stop offering me a job. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to teach you to sell yourself. And he was like, no. And he's been with me for a couple of years, and I love having a conversation with him. He's learning that being a leader in his own company, the CEO, and being a leader, he has to sell himself because he is the leader of the business. And once he goes through that process of what I call getting the contract or, the thing, right? Then he can pass on the rest of the process to somebody else. But that first initial is that he is the one they're going to be, doing business for and with, is that person-to-person sales. So he's learning that process, but, he comes from a technician perspective, meaning he created the business because he was good at the technician part, as we call it, making the pies, right? The technician piece. And he thought, well, I'll hire somebody else to do the sales. I'm like, no, you really can't. Even when you do have a sales team, even then, I think that it's the worst thing a business owner could do is what I call let the salespeople do their thing. I think it's the number one job of the business owner to be in touch with what's happening with the sales every day, what's happening with the sales every day. And I learned that in the information marketing business from Perry Belcher and Ryan Dice, is that they look at their numbers every single day. I mean, they're not technically in the businesses every day.
Right.
They look at their numbers every day. How much did we sell today? How much we sell today? What are our numbers? What are our costs? Every single day. They look at the numbers every day. And I say that because most information marketing business or digital marketing online businesses don't look at their numbers every day. They look at, I did a $2 million launch. Okay, in April. What'd you do in May? What'd you do in June? What'd you do in July? They look at this one launch versus daily. And it's a daily ritual. You have to learn to get really real with the numbers and really be comfortable with the current numbers, because that's your asset. So that's sales.
That's sales. You're right, and summed up in a nutshell. Before we go any further, Heather,
sure.
Could you let everyone know how they can get in touch with you?
Sure. Heather, Havenwood.com. heatherhavenwood.com or sexybossinc.com. And if you're in the United States, you can text the word sexy, SEXY, to 72,000. And if you do that, you can get 3 free chapters of my book, Sexy Boss, for free. So I'm going to repeat that. You're going to text the word sexy, SEXY, to 72000, 72,000 if you're in the United States.
Nice. That's nice. Thanks for offering that. That is very nice. So what's going on now with Heather? Where's Heather right this given moment? Besides being in Austin, Texas, where's Heather right now? What's going on?
Yeah. So what I'm currently focused on now is I'm focused on building up my coaching business. I only take on 10 clients at once. I have a couple slots open, and then that's it. Because I also I have my dating business that I'm working on. That's teaching men how to date women. That's been going on for a couple of years. I'm always expanding that business every day. And the newest thing that I've been focused on that I just absolutely love, and it came out of my own personal story with nutrition, is e2lab.com. E2lab.com is a 100% non-GMO, vegan, highly premier product line for supplementation. And I would say exclusive. It's expensive because it's expensive products. So just don't go there and go, well, these are expensive. They are, because these products are extremely therapeutic, and they are 100% almost like raw therapeutic products.
Oh,
and nowadays you can't get that. I mean, Whole Foods, I love Whole Foods. You will not get that kind of product in Whole Foods. These are liquid products, so they're extremely potent products, but they're non-GMO and 100% vegan products, and they're designed to get rid of the toxins in your blood and basically heal your body on a cellular level. And this is a private personal company of mine. It's me and my boyfriend, e2lab.com, and no MLM or anything like that. It's just our company line. So it came out of my kind of focus on my nutrition and keeping my health and well-being at that optimal level. Because as you know, as an entrepreneur, Kim, if you're not healthy, it's hard for you to keep running your business at the optimal level.
Yes.
So that's why it was born. And that's why
it's hard. It's just hard to run, period, at optimal level, period. It's so important, to eat healthier. I'm not saying you can't go out on the weekends and have a couple glasses of wine and a dessert, but get back on track right away.
Yeah.
And just we've got so much burning through. This is a whole other show, Heather. So much burning through our environment. That our foods, everything is being broken down. I don't care if you are going to someplace and laying down lots of money at a Whole Foods and buying organic. Our food is so basteurized right now.
Right.
It's just what we need. I mean, we need that to survive that food, but how it's being farmed is not the best of quality.
Yeah, my boyfriend's a chiropractor, so he's like the chemist, but he was sharing with me that he's read this study recently that they froze a bowl of spinach from like the 60s, okay? And somehow one bowl of spinach from the 60s is now an equivalent to like 40 or 50 bowls of spinach now from the nutritional standpoint. Mm-hmm. Meaning you have to eat 40, 50 bowls of spinach to get the same amount of nutritional value as one from the 60s. That's because of our soil. So a lot of these products, and there's another study that Candida causes on the average American an extra 34 pounds of fat on their body.
Yes.
And so our product, Ultra Slim Cleanse, gets rid of that candida in your body. And so we've had people literally on it and they like lose 40 pounds. So like, how'd you do that? I'm like, well, you're getting rid of the toxins, and you get rid of toxins, you lose weight. So it's phenomenal. It's a very interesting kind of business for me because it is online business and it's a very unique business. So I'm kind of going through the steps of relearning a lot of different things from an e-commerce perspective. But that's part of being an entrepreneur, right? It's like stepping in and going, I don't know how to do this one. Let's figure it out.
And let's learn and let's scrape our knees up and elbows up along the way and get out and brush it on off. And, absolutely constantly learning and tripping and skipping and, all that stuff. Absolutely. I'm really interested to learn more about these products. All right. I've got some questions for you, Heather, and right from the heart. You're always from the heart, but
yes,
no thoughts into this. All right?
Okay.
So what? Okay, Kim. All right. What we measure determines our success. So how do you measure success?
Okay. Time. What's bank account, of course, like what's going on with my current business, but also time, being able to, what is the kind of time and lifestyle that I have today? That if not, what's the point? It's like, go get a job. You know what I mean? So it's all about time and lifestyle and freedom to be able to say what I want and go after it. I don't mind working 60 hours, 80 hours a week. It's because in that 80 hours a week, I'm adding value to something, and that's my time that I'm adding value to. So that's what I think measurement of my time.
I love that. And I instantly, the moment you said the word time, my mind exactly went right to Pink Floyd's Time. That was because it's one of my most favorite songs in the whole wide world.
That's awesome.
It's such a great song. I don't know. I think all those
song.
guys, it is. They might have all been stoned when they wrote it, but hey, it's a great
Who
song.
knows? Who cares?
It worked for them. It worked.
It worked for them, right?
Yeah, it did. Okay. So to date, share with us your largest challenge to date that you've turned into a major opportunity.
Ooh, I think it was the health thing. So it was a couple years ago, I really had some health issues and I couldn't figure it out, because I was really healthy and I ate very well and all that. So I learned about the unbalance of hormones and what no matter how well I was eating and how much money I was spending in Whole Foods, like you said, it didn't matter. Like there was supplementation was missing, and hormones were imbalanced just because of the toxicity of the environment. And so through that, my boyfriend and I found and we created these products. And then I was the one like, I want to like put these out in the world, and he's like, what do you want? What? So here we are building this business from scratch. And it's been a challenge because e-commerce online is very different than information marketing online. So it's a big challenge every day. I'm like, okay, here we go again. So, but I turned it into an opportunity because that's what we do as entrepreneurs.
That's every, I sat down yesterday afternoon, late in the day, and I decided to sit down to see if that movie Joy was available on demand, not to buy, but to rent. And it was available for rent. And I watched that. And, they didn't get very high, ratings, the actual content, how it was written, the movie, but damn, that message, woo-wee.
The message is, it's critical. It's like the key. It's why I think entrepreneurs. I'll just give you an example. So the bankruptcy. I was just on a blab on Sunday, and someone on there was talking about how they're mad at Trump because he filed bankruptcy. And I was like, well, I filed bankruptcy. He's gonna be mad at me. I mean, bankruptcy was actually designed in this country. The law was designed so that people came here to build businesses. Mm-hmm. They knew that the percentage of people that build businesses, it would fail because that's what happens in just life. And so they wanted to be able to give a positive environment where it's okay to fail and build and fail and succeed and build and fail. And that's what entrepreneurs do. And that was the hardest part for me through the bankruptcy was like, it's part of the knees being skinned as an entrepreneur.
Yep.
That's how it works. I don't know if this company's going to, I know that the products are there, but I don't know if it's going to really succeed. I don't know. I just like, you just go out there and you create a message and you educate and you like do what there is to be done. So I think that's part of being entrepreneurs, being willing to get your knees skinned.
Oh, huge. And push your sleeves up and work. I love people that say, I'm going to start my own business. So I have to work so many hours.
Yeah, right. That's fun too.
That's funny. Yeah, it is. It is very. I know that's stand-up comedy material. Anyways, have you ever felt like giving up?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times. I think if I don't know how to say yes, and yes, and yes, and yes, and yes every time.
Yeah.
That's why I have a coach, by the way. I've had a coach for the last almost 10 years of my life. I've had two particular coaches and then, of course, a few mentors along the way. But I remember back, God, I don't know, it was almost 10 years ago at this point. I called my dad, who's an entrepreneur himself, and I called him upset about something, crying, my life is over, whatever it was. And his response was like, I can't do this anymore. You have to hire a coach. I'm out, or something like that. And I was just devastated because like, that's what you're supposed to do as a father, right? Listen to me, complete whine and bitch and whine. And he was like, I'm done. And I hired my first coach at that time. It was like a life coach. And she was with me for almost 7 years, Marla. And, I went through a lot of ups and downs with her. And, I taught myself through her coaching, like being responsible is the biggest gift you can give yourself, right? Being responsible for everything you want in your life and being responsible for winning and losing is like the biggest gift you can give yourself, and no victimization is even allowed in the space. And there's days I want to wake up and say, I'm done.
Oh, so. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm responsible, right? So I'm responsible for everything I have and don't have.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I truly, Heather, I truly agree. So with that being said, so then how, aside from hiring a coach, because I believe in the coaching, I believe in mentors, I believe in surrounding myself around like-minded individuals too, so that when we do have those pitfalls, they understand it. And then when we do have the joys, they also understand that as well. We need both. We really do need both. So how do you continue to push yourself to stretch and grow?
I surround myself online because I'm by myself all the time, but I surround myself, with people that are doing great things. And there's that competitiveness in me of like, I want more, I want more, I want more. So I'm always watching what's going on and learning and growing. And there have been periods in my life, don't get me wrong, like I'm not perfect. There was a period in my life that I went back to corporate America, and I was there for 3 months. My friends were all very happy. Like, you lasted 3 months. We're so proud. The thing I really got out of those 3 months of corporate life again was it wasn't like corporate life is bad or horrible. What was it preventing from me is being able to grow. It was like, stay in a box, stay in a box, stay in a box. No, that's not your job. Stay in that box. And that was so prison-like feeling for me. And I want to be able to go into all areas of every kind of the business and grow and expand. So that was stifling for me. I felt like I was like in a locked prison psych ward, like, no, that's not your job. You don't do that. That's my job, or that's somebody else's job. And it just,
it's segregated. So it's so segregated. Yeah.
That was stifling. So as an entrepreneur, I don't get to do that. So I'm always growing. That's what keeps me going. It's like, I get to learn.
Yep.
So,
and we get to, I don't like the 4-letter word rules. People, I get to create your own rules. Well, I don't even begin creating rules. I just am. This is just how it is. And someone said something the other day, and I've been really repeating this person is, my truth is not everyone else's truth. My truth is not everyone else's truth. So that's why I don't like doing the rule game and the rule card. And, the moment I even just saying that to you, Heather, they're using that 4-letter word rule is, I feel boxed in. Oh my God. Okay, that's it. I quit. If I'm going to be boxed in like that, I quit. Because I've done the stint in corporate. It's like, oh my God. I mean, they tell you when to get up. They tell you when to leave. They tell you when to go eat. It's like robotic. Here we go.
Yeah. It's funny because people ask me all the time about being an entrepreneur. What was it like? And I was like, it's everything that it's everything anti-school that you're taught. So we're taught at a very young age in kindergarten. Now follow the leader, follow the teacher, do what the teacher says, know your ABCs, and then second grade. If you don't pass kindergarten, you don't get to go to first grade. If you don't pass first grade, and on it goes, and bad girl, good girl, and all this kind of stuff. And then we're taught as an entrepreneur is like all that has to be thrown out the door. Yeah. And and that's why, again, just because it's somebody in the news right now, Donald Trump, that's why I have respect for him, because he knows that's how it is in entrepreneurship. There is no rules. You create what you need to have happen, and everything's negotiable, and you go after what you want. Yes. And so that's why some people are mad at him. Like, you're not staying within the lines. It's like, because you don't get what you want in entrepreneurship when you stay inside the lines.
Well, you don't get what you want in business, period, staying within inside the lines. That's why he's been able to take his businesses down and rebuild them back up. And they're worth billions. And I'm going to give a big shout out to him and the mothers of his children. They've done a damn good job raising these kids. Are not spoon fed, hands out, entitled kids. These
No.
kids, they're dynamic,
Oh my
pushing
God.
their sleeves up. I mean, that oldest daughter, whoo, wee boy, she's watched her father and she's watched her mother, and she's a dynamic business young lady. I mean, I would love to get my hands on her and interview her, but none of
She's
those
amazing.
kids are entitled. They're not sitting there with their hands out because they've
No.
come from billions. They've had a nice life, but they're not, I got to give high
Oh, yeah.
fives to them for how they've raised those
Yeah, it's
kids.
pretty impressive, and I think it has a lot to do with Trump, Donald Trump, and but I find it fascinating they haven't ever. Well, he's never had a drink in his life
Yes,
or
I know.
smoked. I find that fascinating. I'm like, really? I mean, especially coming from that kind of lifestyle and dinners
Yes.
and parties, and it's very easy to get caught up in that. And so, yeah, it's pretty fascinating. So it's a true entrepreneurship story. But that I mean that really is entrepreneurship. Is being to be willing to be different and go out there and say what you want and do what you want. I know I've had to be, but I've been slain for that too. It's like, you're not supposed to be doing that. That's
Oh
not
my
your job.
God.
Stay out of
I
that room.
Don't
I'm
go
like,
on over there.
don't
Oh my
go
God, you're
over
supposed
there.
to sit like this. What do you mean? You can't say that. I mean, oh my
Can't say
God, you
that.
said fuck on live radio. Yeah, we say fuck on live radio. You know what?
Like,
If it's
you're not supposed
necessary,
to
it's
do that.
necessary. Yeah. Oh my God, someone said to me the other day, when is it now that women are now starting, are now posting the word fuck on Facebook? I'm like, what's wrong with it? Listen, it's just a word. Oh, it's a bad word. It's vulgarity. I don't see words as good or bad. Positive, negative, the outcome that words have on environments and beings and things like that. But says who is a bad word? Says,
Yeah.
tell me, says who? Because I'll tell you what, this is my big thing is, people get so offended around the word fuck, but I'll tell you what, they use hate all day long.
I agree. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we're taught. I don't know about you. I was taught Southern. I was very Southern.
Yes.
Texas.
Yep.
I was taught, be a good girl, share, share, share. Be a good girl, share, share, share. And even then, my mom was like, you're not being sweet. Be sweet. Be sweet. And I laugh now because I'm like, I don't consider myself sweet on any level. I mean, I'll be nice, but I'm not sweet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So my mom will probably be rolling over her grave. I love her dearly, but she's like, now be nice, because I was grown up a certain way. But when you're in business entrepreneurship, you have to like say what you want and talk over people sometimes and
Yep,
say
absolutely.
the cuss word, and it's okay. And I don't know.
It is. It really, truly is okay. Okay. Do you believe this? This time has gone by so fast. We're 50 minutes into the show, Heather. Oh my gosh. So I got one. I have one last question I'd like for you to ask is, everyone that's listening, what last golden nugget can you give them?
Oh, let's see. Yeah, so I'll give them a quote that one of my mentors gave to me at a very, very low part of my life. Right after my bankruptcy, I was just kind of distraught. He said, because I was confused. I didn't know what to do. Maybe I should give up. A lot of giving up and bad talk on myself in life. And he said, put this question to everything you do in your life from now on. And I still do to this day. Here's the question. Does this feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity? Does this feed my confusion or strengthen my clarity? And there's just a lot of, there's a lot there. I mean, I could go in a whole 20 minutes on that. But the point of it is like, create a clarity causes strength and confusion causes weakness. So when you're clear on what's going on and what you're doing, you have more power. So kind of go with that.
I love that. I love that a lot. I love that a lot. In fact, I'm going to ask you to send that over to me after the show, or within the next 24 hours, and we're going to re-quote you on that one with all our yeah, that was beautiful, Heather. Heather, thank you so much. First of all, this went way. I said this. I knew this is going to go by so fast. This went back way too fast, girl. But everybody. You know what? I'm going to say this one more time, Heather. Please tell everybody how they can get in touch with you so they can track you down.
Track me down. Okay. HeatherHavenwood.com. Twitter is at Havenwood, and then my website for the Sexy Boss, sexybossinc.com. And I'll repeat the mobile. You can text the word sexy to 72000. Text the word sexy to 72,000, and you get 3 free chapters of my audiobook, Sexy Boss.
That's a beautiful gift. That is just a gorgeous gift. And that is very nice. Thank you so much for being my guest. And I want to thank all the listeners for chiming in today. And if you couldn't chime in while we are live, don't worry. Don't worry. In a couple of days, we'll post the link, for the replay. when you're cooking dinner or driving down the street or folding laundry, you can listen back into the show. And there's so many. Heather, you've offered so many golden nuggets. I'm so grateful. I'm so glad we're connected. I'm so glad we're friends. You are absolutely wonderful. I cannot thank you enough.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me, and be bold. Be you, be real, be bold.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone, join us right back here next week at www.boldradiostation.com at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, if you are thinking about going to the Power Up event in Rochester, New York, hosted by Sheila Kennedy, there's still time to grab your tickets. I want to see all the tushies there, all the women entrepreneurs there. I want to meet you all in person. So hop in the car, hop on the plane. I'll see you there. Reach out to Sheila and she'll get you all set on up. Until then, make it a great week, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for joining yet another Real Life Chats with Kim. Come on back next week, same place and time, where the boldest of bolds share their truths.